Hey guys, just wanted to do my reaction review to The Gifted, Season 2, Episode 13, Tempted. So, we have I would say like three different subplots, with one with Lorna still acting as the inside woman for the underground. Um, and you also have, it also like focuses a little bit on the Morlocks, especially Erg, where they have like a flashback showing how his human girlfriend sold out, basically sold out the mutants he was trying to provide asylum to Sentinel Services. It was the same scenario. It was kind of a similar scenario to what happened with Caitlin's brother Danny, where it's like Sentinel Services got to got to them and had them act as like an inside as like their inside person, and she's been doing it for weeks is the only difference. And he wasn't she didn't even bother to warn him or only find out about it because she seemed to have knowledge about one of their safe havens, which he never tells to anybody, not even her. And and so like that betrayal kind of carries over into the present day storyline when Blink goes to help like collect food and stuff from I guess some local pantry or something. They get found by the cops, and one of the people, Glow, gets shot, and the only person and Erg doesn't want to take him to a hospital because they don't want to risk being exposed. So out of desperation, Blink has to go to Caitlin and bring her down there to help treat, and also Marcos to help treat her because she needs a blood transfusion for a gunshot wound, and because the only person that has a specific brand of like glowing blood is Marcos, but they need more than that. Caitlin says that she can't properly treat Glow down in the sewer, so they have to go back to the clinic even after it was ambushed by purifiers and later Fade, just to get the equipment she needs. And Erg is like being difficult, being reluctant about the fact that they brought a human down there, and having to, and saying he's reluctant to even let Caitlin even take them to the clinic. And he says like, "Oh, I don't want dead weight. We're gonna get it ourselves." And she quips that you're probably not a pharmacist and a post-apocalyptic pirate, just to get him to shut up and let them go with her. And even though they find the equipment that they're looking for, and Erg starts to, and as time goes on, he realizes that not everybody is like his girlfriend, and how she really cares about trying to treat all people, mutants or other human or mutants, and they end up getting discovered by the purifiers, and somebody like opens fire on the clinic, but they're able to get out in time, barely. And Caitlin's able to treat Glow, and I guess as a way of like showing his appreciation and having his faith rewarded by Caitlin, he puts an M on her cheek, as saying it's like, oh, you're like an honor. I guess like you're like one of us, or like an honorary member or something, like that kind of thing. Then you also have Lauren, who's basically being depriving herself of sleep because she knows that Andy's trying to tempt her into joining the inner circle at the goading of the Frost sisters. And there's even it even gets to the point where she's having like splashing her face with water, trying to have energy drinks, but she ends up falling asleep. And during one of the dream sequences, it seems like it's almost like Andy has like parrot. He's just like saying everything that the Frost sisters are projecting into his mind. So it's almost like, is it really a projection of Andy, or is it just Andy? But or like how much like, is it the real Andy, or is it maybe just Andy, but they just have like because they have like the Frost sisters in the driver's seat, and she almost gets tempted to join them, or at least like gets holding hands with Andy in the dream, They, I guess, were kind of like rebel in the power of Fenris from back in season one. It leaves her like confused. It leaves her pretty much kind of shaken, but between her sleep deprivation, the dream, listening to that music box having some whatever hypnotic effect on her, that she ends up like leaving the apartment, is like wandering around town. Is like she's confused. Like she kind of doesn't want to be tempted to join the inner, be drawn to Andy, but it's like the power is too great. And so it leads to Reed and Thunderbird having to go out and look for her. She, Laura ends up having to stop like Sentinel services from, arresting this family traveling by bus just because they're mutants with their powers, somewhat covertly. And then it takes Reed opening up to Lauren and saying that, listen, I know what kind of power you're feeling from the music box. Like I've listened to the music box before when I was a kid and earlier, and how and it kind of affects the house and your powers. And they do come to an understanding that they're kind of that Lauren's not struggling with it alone, and she agrees to take some of Reed's serum so she won't be to kind of suppress her powers and cut her connection with Andy, which kind of makes you wonder, like, why didn't Reed or Caitlin or anybody just think about doing that before? Instead of just trying to like have her, considering she was like depriving herself of sleep just to sever the connection, and it was kind of like taking a toll on her mentally and emotionally. And I don't know, maybe they're worried they just wouldn't have enough serum for to help recontrol her powers, I guess. It's the best I can figure to rationalize that. And of course, you have Lorna going through, still trying to ask Max, I guess basically the member of that trio hit squad that's working for Reva for her big plans that she's trying to learn more about. And she goes as far as to like just pretending that she's accidentally cut herself with a knife just to leave the training room and go into Max's room and go through his basically go through his I think it's go through his computer or his cell phone, and finding out that Reed was going to order them to attack like the White House, the Capitol building, and the Pentagon, and essentially just overthrow the government, just leading this like, massive coup, and training that like hit squad to be able to strong enough to use their powers in succinct to kind of like level all those buildings in like one shot, or at least I had to level it piece by piece. But then of course Max realizes that, comes in and realizes somebody's been in his room, and is like, oh, I've been I've been in and out of the joint to know when someone's been going through my stuff. The other two tell him to stop being paranoid. It's like I'm not in prison anymore. And Lorna tries to play dumb and be like flirtatious and whatnot, but he's getting suspicious and realizing that, because it's obviously Lorna, because she was the one asking so many questions. But then of course she tries to get defensive and say it's like, oh, I'm Polaris. My father was a member of the inner circle, so I'm basically royalty here. So if you better have more than just a guess and just talk and accusations to back up, more than just a guess to back up your accusations. And it kind of makes him back off. But it gets to the point where she decides to figure out, like, use her powers to sort of kind of like hack the camera system and figure out, like the timetable of like when Max leaves the building to go out to get beer, and the place he buys beer, which allows Marcos to follow him and like ambush him in an attempt to capture him, but Max pulls a pistol on him and manages to shoot Marcos in the side. Like, there's this huge struggle between there's gun. All you can see is like a bird's eye view of the car, where it's like you hear the gunshots going off. Mark is using his powers to act in self defense, but he's still injured. But it gets to the point where it does cause a car fire in which Max is killed in the struggle, and a wounded Marcus just manages to get out of the car just in time before the fire that they started causes the car to explode, which is kind of just blew my mind. I was like, damn, like they just killed off this guy, and there's just like, Mark is injured. How he's gonna, get back or get help? And especially since he had to just like donate blood to Glow, so he's probably it's probably only adds insult to injury to this. But then you figured it's like, okay, he's dead. He's missing it. They found out he goes missing. He's dead, and even without watching the previews, I knew that this was gonna blow. No pun intended. Lorna's cover, and now like even the previews looks like, yeah, they're really building up to like like a pretty big episode that's coming in like 2 weeks now, where Lorna is exposed and being confronted by the Frost sisters and Riva, and I don't know how she's gonna get out of it, other than probably just blowing the whistle on Riva and how she's collaborating with Benedict Ryan for unknown reasons, and just try to like shake up the ranks and shake up the ranks and whatnot, and probably weaken like the morale of the inner circle. And then even footage of, I guess, the purifiers somehow was able to discover the location of the Morlocks, and they're even about to launch an attack led by Jace Turner. So it's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know what to expect. Like, how this is all going to turn out. Like, I mean, that's like the next upcoming episode in 2 weeks, and like if something's getting that bit, it's really gonna. If things are really gonna, the plot's gonna thicken, and things are gonna get like that big, like have that like a turning point. I can only imagine what they're gonna do for the season finale. Like there are 3 more episodes left in this season, so I can only imagine how they're gonna, how they're gonna end. Just how they're gonna end The Gifted. It's probably gonna be a big cliffhanger, a big turning point. Who knows what the fate of the Morlocks of the Inner Circle is gonna be after this. But I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I felt the whole Erg Morlock subplot was like, it was the least interesting of it. It was probably my only concern, but 8 out of 10. What do you guys think of it? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.